Everybody would like to believe that working in real estate is easy. It isn't. Advanced training doesn't really exist. This takes more than be likable and build relationships. You know that, and so do I. I'm Sandy McMaster. I'm the founder of Identity Ops, and this is Renovating Real Estate. Happy New Year. It's 2026. Here's a hot question for you. Are you going to look back at 2026 with regret? It's a valid question, one you might want to grapple with. And the reason why it's so useful is that it's going to keep us from doing the same thing and expecting different results. Isn't that the definition of insanity? In order to do that in real estate, we really need to stay focused on purpose instead of performance. But so much of our training is all performative. You're setting goals, you're setting value, production goals. You have this performance laid out. And the consumers, unless it's real, I'm not sure they like it any more than you do. And that's the difference of working performatively versus working in your authentic purpose. But here's the thing about it's very tricky. Purpose is very tricky. And I remember starting out working with people live, and I used to frame it so directly and just ask them, well, who are you? Because that's how we can drive towards purpose, right? And it's such a loaded question, and it's one a lot of people grapple mightily with. Maybe you do. Sometimes it's really hard to detach from real estate and all of the training that says you should and you could, and, to drop all the shoulds and the coulds and really get quiet, separate from the business and say, well, outside of real estate, who am I? Because here's the nifty trick. Who you are is a bridge to building a brand. But you have to start outside of real estate. You have to start with yourself in those quiet moments. And recently I came across Dr. Grumet's work. He has a new book out. You might hear him on the, on the book rounds right now. He's popular on a lot of these podcasts right now. But I really love it when I hear something that's outside of our industry and how it applies so nicely to our industry, especially when it comes to training. And Dr. Grumet, he is a medically trained physician, and his most interesting background is that he himself thought being a medical doctor was the way, it was fulfilling his purpose on this earth, and I think he spent 20 years or so being this medical doctor, chasing down this career. And he gives it a lot of credit and credence. He enjoyed some of it, but not most of it. Instead of doing work that really mattered to him, he felt like he was doing this performance. He spent 20 years chasing somebody else's definition of success. Does that sound familiar to any of you? It might. Because what he discovered by doing what he calls a life audit, he did a life audit and he said, gosh, how do I want to wake up and spend this day? And he looked at his schedule. What are all the responsibilities I have to do today as a medical doctor? And he did the process of elimination, for a better description. And he just scratched through. He took out a piece of paper and he wrote down, oh, here's all the things I do as a medical doctor today. And here's all the things that I find loathsome. I do not enjoy doing them. They are not inside of what I believe I was put on this planet to do for other people. And once he got through his list, he wrote down all the things and he scratched out all the things that he really did not enjoy doing. He didn't feel he was at his best. And the only thing that was left was hospice work. He thrived there. That was his sweet spot inside of his work. And he spent years with people dying. And not to be depressing on New Year's or anything. However, if you spend years listening to people who are about to pass on, and their number one thing is regret, is living that they didn't live their authentic purpose. They didn't live inside of their purpose. And so Dr. Grumet has a beautiful, simple framework that he talks about, and it's capital P purpose or lowercase p purpose. And if you're somebody who's just, grappling with living a life of meaning outside of real estate, it's a great book. It's called The Purpose Code. And I highly recommend it. But applying it to our industry, I just found it was like a hand to a glove. And this big P purpose, which is trained in a lot of agents and a lot of offices, a lot of brokers, a lot of brokerages, is this big P purpose that the only definition of success is big volume. There is so much more to this business than that. And there are so many people working, talented, skilled people who, just because they won't spend time finding their little P purpose, what do they really enjoy? What are their traits and talents? What is the transformation that people come to you for outside of real estate? If you can discover the little P purpose that you possess, then you, my friends, can build an identity-based brand. And if you can build a brand and you can operationalize the problem you solve, the transformation you help others go through, if you can do that, you can do two things. You can work in this industry passionately, happily. You can build the life and the business you absolutely love. And here's why I know that this training needs to get out and populated more. 70 to 71% of agents did 0 transactions, license holders. Now that's according to Inman and a Redfin, and it was a survey. It was a survey done. I always like to go back and say, okay, where did you really get this information from? Chat's great, but sourcing is a thing. But I'm not so sure that that's off. And I think, if the training we have that just be in your community, just build relationships, just make your calls, just cold plunge, whatever. If that were true, if it were really that simple, we'd have a lot more successful agents. Right? So it just doesn't add up. So why at the top of 26 are we writing plans that are repeating and optimizing for results we don't want, because we're optimizing for big P purpose, as Dr. Grumet says, instead of lowercase p purpose. And I think breaking down this idea of who are you, what's your purpose, it can be daunting. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. And he has some beautiful recommendations in the book. You can read the essay on Substack to learn a little more about the life audit and scratching through. It's a worthy exercise. Now, in Identity Ops, we do this with agents and brokers to get to the understanding of this is the transformation you naturally help others go through. You just happen to do it inside of the real estate industry. So we thread this needle from who are you, what do you do naturally well, what does that mean for the receiver, and then we operationalize it. Oh yeah, we light it on fire. So I encourage all of you today at the top of 2026, if you don't look back at 25 and absolutely love your days, switch it up. Switch it up. Do something different. The easiest advice I can give you on this podcast is simply look at your business plan. Is it full of somebody else's purpose, big P purpose, industry purpose? Or is it full of the kind of days with the people and the activities that you shine at and with? Start there. Another easy one for you. Look at the activities and ask yourself, is this building on a transactional model or an identity-based model? Just start there. Simple questions that can lead you to not only a life you love, but a business you love. I think it's a worthy exercise, and I hope all of you really take a minute to just be quiet before all the noise starts, and you know what I'm driving at. Don't let this be the year. Don't let 2026 be the year that you look back and regret. Don't spend 2026 chasing somebody else's big P purpose and then wondering why, gosh, why do I feel exhausted? If you want to read the detailed essay here, head to Substack. If you're not reading on Substack, sign up. But if you know an agent or a broker that is really struggling and saying, I just can't do it this way anymore, get them over here. Bring them over. The water's warm. We're not going to ask you to cold plunge. This is Renovating Real Estate. I'm excited for 2026. We'll be back next week.